resource person, Professor Mihir Narayan Mohanty is with us. So now may I request Dr. Mona Lisa Mohanty to introduce our resource person. Dr. Mona Lisa ma'am, are you there? Mona Lisa ma'am, are you there?
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, but your voice is very little.
Is it clear now?
Can you raise your voice a bit?
Ma'am, this is the maximum allowed limit, ma'am.
Yeah, now it is audible.
Start, ma'am.
Yeah, you can start.
Jai Jagannath. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time for our last session to begin. Allow me to introduce to you of this session, who is none other than Lady M, Professor Dr. Mohanty, Department of Electronics and Communications at ITER. He has received his MTech Communication and Engineering and done his PhD work applied Siksha, has published international is the active member societies like IET, PMI Engineers, ISCA, ACEEE, PSI, and also Fellow of IET, IE. His area of interest include applied signal and image, biomedical, microwave, and speaker. I hope all the participants will get benefit. May I please request sir kindly deliver.
Hello. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Now it is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Good evening, my dear participants. So today we will discuss whatever the AI we have discussed yesterday, some of the advances and some of the applications we will discuss today. So whatever we have discussed regarding AI or artificial intelligence. So what do you think this artificial intelligence is? So what about this and what about your thought? No answer? So is it making computers that think? or is it the automation of activities we associate with human thinking, like decision making or like human learning? Can we say it is AI? Or it is the art of creating machines that perform functions which require intelligence? Or it is the study of mental faculties through the use of these models? Or we can say the combination of all these logics through a machine. We can say artificial intelligence. That means the intelligence is being transferred to the machine, and the machine can work, as I have told you, if the thinking process will be rational, then only the action will be rational and the performance will be as better as can think. So some of the terminologies and concepts. So from 1950 to 1980s, it was termed as artificial intelligence. And once the term is to be vanished and termed as computational intelligence with the help of machine learning. This begins from the 80s, and the concept was well utilized up to 2010. Still, the machine learning technique is in use. However, from 2010, the concept of deep learning, is involved in AI technology. So that implies deep learning is the subset of machine learning, which is the subset of computational intelligence, and that is the subset of artificial intelligence. So this belongs to all these logics and all these terminologies belongs to the major group that is called as artificial intelligence or machine intelligence. That you can say the machine intelligence or system intelligence. So if you think the different categories of AI, it can be classified based on the capabilities. That artificial intelligence can be classified into three types. One is narrow, another is general, and the third one is super AI. So narrow means dedicated for one task. If the computer science thing, then it is uniprocessor for specific task. So task is fixed and the processor is fixed. If you think the same as VLSI point of view, we can say it is of ASIC processor. So the ASIC processor can again be used for AI, or with the help of AI technology, we can develop the processor, that is ASIC processor, for specific tasks, application specific. And if the AI technology will be as human being, that you can think of robotics, perform like human, will be general AI. But when the thought process will be involved in this technology, that means the robot or the machine or the system can think itself, can be termed as super AI. That means it is intelligent than human, because the machine will develop the thought process, the thinking process, the decision making things. So at that time we can say the intelligence is higher than human and belongs super AI. So if you think these examples of artificial intelligence at work, yesterday also I have told the personalization of new feeds, automated processing, that is automatic recognition for image, for speech, that is on social media. If it can automatically recognize the voice or the face or the attitude on social media, so definitely it will be one of the secure part, so that the criminal can be caught. So both the case, either the personalization will be developed by observing, and simultaneously if any such evil cases on social media, so those can be caught easily. So another example, in business or commerce or financial sector, no need to move to the market for a particular product. The technology through different media or through internet can provide us which product is available where, and which product rating is better, which product is used by people well and satisfied. That we can say electronic business, e-business or e-commerce platform. So where the role of artificial intelligence is greatly approved. So another example is voice to text conversion, that the smartphones nowadays, everybody may use this smartphone. Gradually that keypad has been obsoleted. Even if the companies don't used to produce these key type phones, and these smartphones are developed day to day through the support of artificial intelligence, where machine learning are included, and E, we choose those examples. You can check your email. So many spam, that means unknown mails are received through our email. So mostly it used to filter them as spam filtering. The algorithms to learn from variety of signals with preset rules. The metadata and specific messages, and its categorization can be made also, like the primary mail, promotional mail, social inbox. Again, manually you can make them your personal, your academical, your official, so on. So if this category also can be mended by AI or machine learning, so that we can say the advancement of machine learning to categorize. So immediately you can provide the attention based on priority. Whenever in computational case or documentation case, in word processor, even if we can write some spelling mistake words, so spell checker, auto spell checker and auto grammatical mistakes can be found and rectified in the system. And similarly, online credit and online marketing, the decision can be made simultaneously. The fraud detection part and prevention of financial aspect can be made through the technology of AI and mostly application of machine learning techniques. So as we have discussed the examples, it is already present in day-to-day life. So every day we used to use those things, smart phone, smart TV or smart application. So those things are with the support of AI and machine learning. It might not seem all that significant, but these little things, yes, yes,
Okay.
is that fine? Hello, is that fine? So these little things help us in our daily lives, our daily lives. If you come to the weather forecasting part, yesterday also I have told you the same example. You think how much of data is stored, because each time the data is recorded and stored hourly, you can say, or day wise, or weekly, or month wise, or yearly. So all these data creates the technology to store, that is in cloud, or that is in terms of big data, from where we can analyze and we can forecast, we can predict the future. So unless otherwise the past data is with us, it will be very difficult to predict or forecast or estimate the future. So in that way, it helps us to store, to manipulate, to store efficiently, and to supply when we need to retrieve the data for analysis and prediction. So it has that ability to keep in mass volume and supply accordingly. So also this weather condition helps different companies to make smart decisions. And nowadays, the power system in most of the area are adopting the solar power. So those companies can sell their product or market their product if they have the prediction data with them, or they can analyze the prediction system. Based on that, they can support us or support to the user to what type of system we need to use. And in recognizing the specific patterns, it can also predict the weather patterns that will impact on solar production. It will helpful to user, to producer, or the vendor, and adjust the product and sell, that you can say the e-business can be successful. Another important thing, most of the vintages are lost, and to restore them, to restore those damaged photographs or damaged vintage, artificial intelligence has a major role. It is the example I have shown here. You can see it. The old photo or faded photo or a damaged photo is well retrieved in the right hand side from left to right. It can be created before computer. And thanks to the technology, we save these vintages or these earlier photographs or our historical things or some damaged pictures through the most advanced technology is NVIDIA. NVIDIA that is developed an AI which is known as image painting, to successfully restore the images with rifts or holes or missing spots. So it can analyze, it can mend, it can retrieve the old vintages or old photographs. So how interesting the technology is. But simultaneously, in social media, you can observe the retrieval of these things. If the thought process is negative, then one face is attached with other's body. You can see the original and the deep fake image. So that face in the right hand side top, this face is a embedding here, and this is because of AI technology. The videos can be generated. So every part has its pros and cons. If we can get most of the positive things, so similarly we may get some of the negative. So that is why it needs secure communication and security in society. So these things mostly you may know in the social media are well done, and nothing can be known who is the victim or who is the culprit. So this is also created by artificial intelligence and spotted by artificial intelligence. Just like thief and police, the game of thief and police. So out of them, it is necessary to know who is intelligent, the police or the thief. So if police is intelligent, the thief can be caught, and if thief is intelligent, then he or she can escape. So similarly, if the technology or the system intelligence is higher, then it can immediately catch where is the mistake. But if it used to fail, only application for these deep fakes can be done, whereas it cannot be spotted, it cannot be found where is the mistake. Another part which is most essential and most helpful. So in a recent scenario, you can observe three things mostly occurred in the society to make our lives hectic. So one disease is heart disease, another one is cancer, and most recent one is COVID. So thank God and thanks to the technology, as it can store a vast amount of data, the cancerous patients or the database of cancerous patients are stored with help of AI, and that is developed by the University of Surrey and University of California. So those particular characteristics or the data belongs to particular disease are helpful to diagnose, prevent, and some part of cure. So similarly, the AI technology is helpful to find these things for diagnosis, prevention, and cure. And always, prevention is better than cure. So if regular health checkup can be done, at least we can alert and we can do the necessary things. And this alertness or the pre-diagnosis stage can be well done by the artificial intelligence technology. If we'll come to this medical and biological engineering, the history behind the present is in 1950s, the artificial kidney, X-ray, ECG, pacemaker, antibiotics production, pulmonary bypass surgery, these things were feasible. And gradually, the technology is developed and support to medical field in post 70s as CT, that is computer assisted tomography, or artificial joint replacement, balloon catheter, endoscopy, some biological plant for food engineering. Earlier to 70, that means in previous decade, that is in 60s, it was possible for heart valve replacement, intraocular lens, ultrasound, vascular grafts or grafting, and blood analysis. But post decade of 70, that is in 80s, most of the advancement has been done, including MRI, laser surgery, this vascular grafting, and recombinant therapies. But in present day, the challenge is there. That means after 2000, after 2 decades, post 2 decades of 1980, is genomic sequencing and microarrays. The research is still in progress, not yet explored well. PET scan, that is positron emission tomography, and robotic surgery, AI based image guided surgery, a particular place where to be operated, that can be guided through machine, and that machine, we can say that is machine intelligence. So instead of open surgery, we can observe from the image and we can analyze there in particular spot. So these converging technologies, that means biological science, nanotechnology, cognitive science, information technology, material science, all these are converged, and recent research is in tissue engineering, gene therapy, drug combination, and this robotic surgery or computer assisted surgery, whatever the active medical devices, if the organs are lost, then artificial organs can be replaced and diagnosis can be done through the specific application specific chips. However, we cannot avoid the doctors. So this application in medicine has two main branches. One is virtual branch, another is physical branch. So it is a highly repetitive work. It will empower doctors, help them deliver faster and more accurate, augment the professionals, offering them expertise and assistance. Replace the personal staffing in medical facilities. Instead of waiting, it will manage the wait time and scheduled automatically. But whatever the supports, whatever the development of technologies, but it cannot replace the doctors for diagnosis and future prescription to cure. So everything will support, technology will support to patients, support to society, support to clinicians, support to doctors, support to pathologists. But the final decision can be made through the medical professionals. The virtual branch that we can say is machine learning. It may be the mathematical algorithms that will improve learning through experience. That may be deep learning, and the machine learning algorithms are categorized as three types. One is unsupervised, another is supervised, and another process of learning is reinforcement learning. In unsupervised case, it has ability to find the pattern, no supervisor or no supporter or no specific parametric things can be done. In supervised case, it will just match with the rules of supervisor. Then only it will process. It may be regression problem or prediction problem or estimation problem. Past data with well supervision, the prediction can be done. Similarly, the classification. But in case of reinforcement learning, it will learn from the environment, the sequences of rewards and punishments. Hello.
Please continue.
The artificial intelligence in medicine as physical branch, it includes physical objects, medical devices, or sophisticated robots for delivery of care, that is called as care bots, and robots for surgery. So this may include the devices. For network, we can take Zigbee local area network, or some type of local area wireless network, identification and authentication, wireless accelerometer, ultrasonic telemetric location, cardiac continuation or cardiac monitoring, and location and navigation. So these are the physical branches or the devices generated with the help of artificial intelligence technology that creates to support for health. So in virtual, we can say those type of learning, the algorithm development, and finally the device can be developed as the physical branch. So as I have told you, the use of robots to deliver treatment, that is robotic surgery, the equipments and use of robots to monitor. So if you will go to literature or state of art, you can say patient, then physiotherapist. So the physiotherapist is responsible to take care of the patient. And the patient needs to take care from the physiotherapist. But the same case is modeled using robots. So the care can be taken by the robot, even if the robot can provide the remote care for the human being. So growth drivers of AI in healthcare. Increasing the individual healthcare expenses, imbalance between health workforce and patient, increasing the global healthcare expenditure, and continuous shortage of nursing and technician staffs. You will astonish to know that shortage of near about 1.2 million nurses by 2020. AI is helpful to these medical practitioners efficiently to achieve their task. So it may be in diagnosis stage, it may be in pathological test stage, or it may be in surgery or in post-surgery or post-medical cases. So for a patient, each stage can be stored in the cloud, and weekly the expert can check from cloud what is the increment or what is the benefits. Another most useful and most of us are using the watches, smart watch that can measure our heart rate, measure our exercise, and measure our blood pressure. And monitors health of an individual. It predicts the risk of heart attack or the high BP. Till now, the monitoring process is for oxygen saturation, heart attack, and blood pressure. So one watch, that is smart watch, not only provides us time, it can added with these features along with the mobile. So sophisticated equipments based on AI technology, as I have told you, the operation, inner operation specific place has to be operated or specific organ is to be operated. So instead of making the body open, the specific part can be under surgery with vision based or AI based, and it supports to the surgeons to operate successfully. So out of this, we can say that the learning is an experimental process. You see, since if you think of this only medical devices, it is experimentally time to time since 1950 to till date. Many equipments have been developed and many are under developed stage. So it is learned from experience and resulting in a relatively permanent change, the modified version of earlier one. It is not explained by temporary states, rather than it has the permanent change or acquiring new modification of existing knowledge and existing device, behavior, skill, value, and preference. All these things I have also told a little bit yesterday. So if these things can be learnt by the machine thoroughly, then we can say it as machine learning. As I have told, these types of machine learning may be supervised, unsupervised, under enforcement, and the example of this supervised learning or the application of this supervised learning for classification as fraud detection, email spam detection, diagnostic in medical cases, and image classification. Whereas at a regression point of view, supervised learning based systems will support us for risk assessment and score prediction. Whereas unsupervised learning, as I have told, so from direct data we can get it. So it needs to reduce the dimension. So the application is dimensionality reduction in the area of text mining, face recognition,
dimensionality reduction, unsupervised clustering.
Yes, dimensionality reduction and clustering. Under dimensionality reduction, we can go for text mining, face recognition, big data visualization, image recognition. Whereas in clustering case, any biological or gene data, city planning, and targeted marketing. But in reinforcement learning, because out of this winners take all like that. So gaming, finance sector or manufacturing. So we may manufacture many devices, but we cannot say the product cost and marketability. So if we observe these things, that is the technological point of view or the utilization of engineering brain. So it is only the learning like reinforcement learning. Out of the environment, out of uses of the devices, again we need to improve the same. So it needs to compete itself to find out which one is the best. So when we use this machine learning, if the problem is very complex and a long list of rules to find the solution, if the problem is complex or the procedure is very long, machine learning will support to code, to find out the output, to provide us the improvement performance. And some cases, if it is applicable to the control system, that we may say digital control or automated control, so it will take care of unstable environments. It can adapt to the new data and update the present weights to find out the utmost control or the optimal control, which is also the part of robotics. The issues are still remaining if the data is noisy or imprecise input values or hidden input values. Another case is bias. Actually, what used to make this machine learning? The non-linearity to linearity. That means the mathematical base is the output y is equal to wx plus b. That is the linear equation. So linearity, at any cost, it needs to find the output by changing the weight. W is the weight. So this weight with the input x values with certain inductive biases. So plus b is the bias. The whatever the problem or what type of algorithm we have chosen, those may not fit well. Some cases it will be underfitting, it will be overfitting. So in those cases, if the inductive bias will maintain, then probably the solution can be found from the complex problem. So machine learning without inductive bias is not possible. So that is why the linear equation, whatever the problem we can find out for classification or regression or prediction or estimation, everywhere the towards solution, the processing part is y is equal to mx plus b, which is linear. And going deep towards the machine learning part, One is simple neural network, another is deep learning neural network. In both the cases, the same case of supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning is there, but in simple neural network, only one hidden layer is there. If the number of hidden layers are more than one, at that time the network is called as a deep neural network or a deep learning neural network. So why we are thinking of these things now? The same neural network was there in the early 90s or after 80. So we need it. The artificial intelligence, that means the machine intelligence, it needs to perform like human being. It can find out any place which is in disaster or flood or drought. Through internet, it can collect the data and store in cloud. So growing process in available algorithms and theoretical developed by researchers. So this will support almost in all the industries. Health industry you can say, or manufacturing industry you can say, or control industry you can say, along with the society. One example of this machine learning to deep learning, if the traditional pattern recognition model is there, we need to find out the feature. So the picture is given. We need to create the handcraft feature extractor, and which is very difficult to extract the features. Then based on these features, the machine will be learned. That means the trainable model, which is simple. And based on those features and based on that training, the output can be obtained. Whereas in deep learning, it seeks to learn rich hierarchical representations, or those are those features. Now you see the same picture, it needs to find out the low level feature, mid level feature, and high level feature. Based on these three types of feature, easily it can extract. Instead of handcraft features, it used to study deeply and provide these features for learning to the model. And finally, it needs to find out the output which is not better than, which is even better than this simple neural network output or this handcraft features, because deeply it needs to study and each level the features are extracted and found the output. So as I have told, the same type of deep learning may be supervised, and those examples of supervised learning is CNN, convolutional neural network, and sequence modeling, that is RNN and its extensions or the variants of RNN. Whereas the unsupervised learning includes the autoencoders or stacked denoising encoders or variants of encoder, and in reinforcement learning it is only that deep reinforcement learning. The models of this deep learning may be autoencoder, maybe sparse autoencoder, maybe variational autoencoders, maybe LSTM, long short-term memory, and this convolutional neural network and deep belief networks. All these are categorized under supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. So this is in healthcare, similar case. So these are some of the publications. And one case recently is used with deep learning technique. The classification of COVID infected persons from the X-ray images, chest X-rays are taken, and GoogleNet is used where the input is given. So same case, number of convolutional layers and pooling layers, then it used to stacked over and found the output. And one structure out of each is the filtration. That convolution means filtering. It needs different types of convolution, like 1 by 1, 3 by 3, 5 by 5, and 1 by 1. And finally, it needs to concatenate, combine. So out of these, we need to find out through the activation function. So that it was the comparison between SqueezeNet and GoogleNet already available, and the accuracy found in GoogleNet is somewhat better than SqueezeNet application. So those cases are for the patients or the precondition. And once we come to the post-pandemic world, we need same AI and machine learning to protect us or to support us through the robot. The better approach to create the transition in future with wave of human machine robot interface. This transition presents an opportunity to disguise of deeper challenge on sociology of robot human, or that is cobot interaction, which would require qualitative aspect of humanism, ethics and values embedded in these interfaces. And this crisis, this COVID crisis, has led to realization about the ultra transcendental meditation and community work to protest the social impact loneliness. That means if the technology can be applied to robot that can support this loneliness of human being or the quarantined people. So in pre-pandemic situation, the robotics was there, and their purpose is to reduce the cost and replace the expensive human workers. You see, the robots are there, but the human being may not get work that much because the robot used to replace the number of human resources. If in the post-pandemic stage, we can use the same robotics to protect human workers, even if it means increasing costs, then the technology can be well utilized. Simultaneously, the human being may not be workless. But can we use this robotics to break the existing barrier to human creativity? Never. So support is required, not replacement. That must be the motto in post-pandemic situation. That is what I have told for the holistic things. And these types of robots, maybe the industrial robots for manufacturing, assembly and sanitization, the service or professional robots, those can be used in retail or healthcare or e-business or waste management or marketing, and the software robots are of finance, human resources, procurement, contactless transfer. And each has, as I have told, control has the major aspect in robotics. So 3 modes of control are there. It may be fully autonomous, it may be human controlled, it may be human robot collaboration. That is what is necessary. Hybrid of AI and remote human supervision. You can consider the lorries, the trucks, those things. This is the thing what I have discussed, and the substitution of this substitutive robotics mostly for disaster and hazardous management, and collaborative robotics mostly in teaching learning process with IIT Delhi, and supplementary robotics can support for education, academia and research. So, as I have told in a nutshell, I can say, if we include the uninterrupted supply chain, food security, energy security, or environment management, disaster management, healthcare, and secure, everything we have discussed in each aspect, if it can take care of these through the AI technology, through the robots, with well supervision and remote supervision, it would be better. And this needs to the advancement of this AI technology through deep learning or through the robotics. So robots possess strength, precision and speed, but human possesses ingenuity, judgment and dexterity. So robots for performing art and visual arts, it can, the skill to create the new music and art or leave the robotic performance. So this can create the creativity through the human robot collaboration. These things I have already told. And another case of this deep learning, they are only that through GoogleNet and homogeneous type of classifiers or CNNs are used. Here heterogeneous type of classifier is taken from input to four different types of classifiers, and all these data are ensembled, are concatenated through the membership. This is fuzzy membership, which is the black box, and out of them, like pooling, the probability value is taken and maximum probability provide us whether the person is healthy or tumorous. This is one binary class classifier with the same chest X-ray as the input, and process is through heterogeneous network along with the fuzzy decision thing. Another case of MRI of a brain is taken. So this is one type of CNN. It is also heterogeneous type. It is CNN or convolutional neural network. This is another network of LSTM and another one is RNN. It concatenates all these outputs to generate the metadata, and further here it is everything is based on neural network, that is combinational of neural network and fuzzy. Here the decision is also made by MLP, and it is found that the perfectly prediction, the tumorous data is 0.91 and the healthy data is of 0.09. In case of the home security system with the camera and internet, we have already done this through internet, and the platform was with Raspberry Pi web server. The family members template or whatever the images you can keep in the knowledge base or template database. The camera and the display unit is attached with this Raspberry Pi board along with the GPRS model. So this used to make the process for transmission and receiving or reception. The Zigbee coordinator is taken in both the end and the transmission side as well as at the reception side, and through relay driver circuit, it needs to find out, it needs to secure the home even if you are in the remote place. So the door can be opened or door can be closed. So this is related to image processing and this Raspberry Pi platform with the security. So you can see two have been recognized where third one is unknown. So based on that, the electromagnetic lock are there. It will provide the entrance or restriction. So this is what is the stages have been already made, and the advancement where we need, what we need, that is what we have already discussed. So potential challenges are this integration as human robot I am telling, or data private and security data exchange, and these industry challenges. And for Indian scenario, the collaboration, funding and medical records or health records, it may be, or financial record, most of the things, data may be open access, maybe collaborative work, maybe financial support from government, so that we people can grow with and explore our knowledge in this advancement of technology. It may be of any type, but mostly it is nowadays on machine learning technologies. Hope I covered many things. Thank you very much for your patience listening, and if you have any query, you can ask. You are welcome, or else we can close the session for today.
Okay, participants are requested to ask any queries if they have to the sir directly. Dear participants, am I audible? Hello.
Audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir. Audible.
Yes. So if you have any queries, please ask to sir.
Or if you are working on this area, you can communicate with
Yes.
me.
Yes. If you are working in this area, please do contact us. Sir is working in that area.
Sir
Mail
provide
ID.
very useful information such.
Still work is going on. If somebody is interested or somebody is working, so we can also do this collaborative work also. Because,
Sir, good evening, sir. Sandeep Bhaskar this side.
yes.
Can we get this, sir, material for reading and can do the
Okay,
case studies related
okay.
to all these things?
After that, whatever the your necessity based on the PPTs, you can just communicate with us.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, we will provide you. Don't
Okay,
worry.
thank you very much, sir. It was really very nice and informative session, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sir, there is a query like how to convert voice to text,
Yes.
specifically Marathi language voice.
Yes. Voice to text.
Yes.
Same case, you can take the voice recording first, whatever the language it may be. So based on that, it needs to synthesize. That means we need to create a model for both. That means English and Marathi or any local language. So both the database will take, it may be the case of pattern recognition part, or directly you can say through the machine learning part. But it is synthesis. That means the model needs to design or model needs to develop.
Sir, there is another query like from Dr. Ashish Hatangadi. I'm sorry if I have misplaced your name, sir. There is a query like will human teacher be replaced by robots with AI?
As I have told, robots cannot replace human being because robots are the creation of human. But yes, it may be support, as I have told, to the doctors, to the teachers. So somewhere, like now also, you can see, you cannot, whenever you are observing the slides at that time, you cannot see me. Whenever you can see me, you cannot observe the slides. So same case, if the robot can do that, the same work can be done by the robot. But if it is with hybridization, that means under supervision of human being, then only we can take it with. That will be fine. But it cannot be substituted again, in my view. Is that fine? Or any query again?
I think he has gotten his answer, so he's sending thanks, sir. Another query is from Dr. Rajni Rajalingam. The role of women in AI. Can you please offer information on this?
Role of women in AI.
Women in AI.
A very nice question. The thing is, the women must technologists or technocrats. In which aspect do you need the answer? If the woman is technocrat, she can use different technologies in different aspects. She may be doctor, she may be professionalist, she may be homemaker, wherever the intelligence can be applied and they can use it. And if you need the women in robotic form, AI, even if you can get it, both the cases is possible. And that is very important role of women in AI.
Another couple of queries are there. Is DNN sufficient for medical image classification? This is a question from S. Yadav.
Very good question. Sir, actually, the thing is, we cannot limit this DNA. We cannot limit. As I have told, so different data will provide us different type of learning process. But yes, the variants of DNA, like I have discussed one of the case, the simple DNA, another case is ensemble DNA. Similarly, cascading we can take, but definitely the result will be excellent. Till now, what I have observed since a decade, you can say, since not decade exactly, since 5 to 6 years, I have observed it. The variants of DNA really, if you can make based on our data and feature, you see, DNN can extract feature, can select feature in different stages known as your convolution layer as well as pooling layer. But even we can create the features, we can extract the features and support them. So immediately it will be most informative and the DNN can process quickly and accurately. But we cannot say, because technology is just one type of hunger. So always it needs high and high, high and high. So if we need to think of it and we can go through it, we can modify, we can check the data, what type of data, what amount of data, and what time of, suppose we are going for real-time processing. So at that time we may need even faster. That means with fraction seconds we need to process it. So as we can provide to the things, at that time we can say yes, that is there.
Sir, couple of questions are regarding which book to follow for beginners for all these machine learning and deep learning, etc.
Deep learning exact book is not actually whatever the books I have observed, that is not satisfactorily. Better to go through this Google and one your machine learning or data science platform, that is really excellent. And even if some of the codes in Python they are provided, data science. And for this machine learning, Simon Hekin is, I think, one of the best book to follow it, where you can get the theory, mathematics, application, and the new things also. But regarding deep learning, I always recommend to go through that data science part from Google, and it is freely available also.
Beginners are also requested to go through a website called Kaggle. So in Kaggle, you can log in, and there are several courses on basics and some advancements of machine learning, specifically using Python. And you will also get some insight in R also.
Yes, also in SK learners. SK
Yeah,
learners.
SK Learn, yes. Sir, one request is there. One request is there for arranging a session on NLP, Natural Language Processing, and LSTM. Will it be possible in this?
We'll try, because it has been already occupied. Still, definitely we can help our participants. At least we'll try to make a session for that. NLP, and please note down those things.
NLP and LSTM, Natural Language Processing,
Yes,
and
and
LSTM.
LSTM, yes. I don't know, if possible, we will take. You can take also LSTM.
Yeah, yes, sir. So there is a suggestion from Dr. B. Manaswini. She has already shared a book which is available in Amazon. Deep Learning, Adaptive Computation and Machine Learning series. It's by Ian Goodfellow. So yes, that is also a very good book. Thank you, madam, for suggesting that book.
Goodfellow is good book, but the
Yes.
thing I cannot say exactly for the beginners. Actually, the
Yeah.
data science part is very good for if somebody really wants to know and work. But those platforms of Kaggle and Escalon we have suggested. But the book is okay. If you know a little bit, then you can go to that Goodfellow, then that will be fine. I think so. But it may be convenient for a particular some of the people also. I don't know how if from scratch, then better from this Escalon or Kaggle, or directly from data science.
Yes,
That is
and
from scratch.
one last query, sir. What is basically an AI agent? Can you clarify, sir? AI agent.
Yes, the same time, no, the same answer I have discussed many times. AI agent means simply we can say the system which used to learn the intelligence. That means the device what we need to develop, the model what we need to develop. That is agent. Yesterday class clearly mentioned the thing with example. That is AI agent. Artificial intelligence agent is that particular system. So that is why I told it is machine intelligence. Artificial intelligence means machine intelligence, the agent that receives the intelligence, or yes, receives the intelligence transferred from some particular source. It may be from human, it may be from knowledge base. So that is knowledge base agent. Is that fine?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for clarifying all the doubts, sir. If we see the amount of interaction, I think people have actually taken a lot of interest in your talk, sir. Thank you for taking all the 2 sessions. It was lovely to hear and share your expertise. You have done a wonderful job in arranging this faculty development program, and you have been a part of 2 sessions here. We specifically thank you from the bottom of our heart for doing this. Thank you, sir.
Actually, it is only the support of my scholars and those who are my colleagues also. It is not only arrangement of the FDP, also those people are working hard within the different or diversified areas. And those diversified areas makes me strong to analyze, to think, and to suggest. So these things makes me enriched actually. I am thankful to them because they are putting that type of, even if I am thankful to my participants, that very nice questions they have already asked, we can discuss. The mail ID you can take also. You can put any type of question at any moment. Even if I cannot answer you instantly, but definitely I will answer you the positive answer. What you will develop to your knowledge also, or it will add to your knowledge also. I may learn from you, maybe some logical, as I have told the AI, it is nothing, only the thinking process, it is also but logical, but both can be rational. So that is why I expect from my participants also, and the communication is very open. You can communicate over mail whenever you need and whenever you face any problem. You are always welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so we are at the end of the today's session. We had three wonderful sessions today. The first session was taken by Professor K.K. Sharma, and the second
Yes.
session was taken by Mr. J.K. Khilar from NALCO, Anugul, and the third session was taken by Professor Mihir Narayan Mohanty. I'm sure you have learned a lot of things in this. I myself was listening to this throughout the day and have gained a lot of knowledge in all these areas. Thank you all the participants for your participation, for your constant queries and everything. I think the link for today's the third session is active now. Please fill it up. The same link is used for your feedback as well as attendance. So with this, we will sign off and we will meet again tomorrow with three wonderful sessions. Thank you very much.
Another thing is that that question regarding Marathi text to speech, if you can keep his or her mail, we can support them with some sort of suggested models where they can
Yes.
work nicely.
Yes, let me find out the name. Yeah, it's from Simantini. Simantini ma'am, can you provide your mail ID in the chat box so that we can contact you? Simantini ma'am. Okay, I think we can
Sir,
end
it
this.
is there. It should be. It is there in the participant list. We can get there from there.
Yes, we can get it from the participant list also. We have the database, so we can get it and we can always. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much. And good night. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.